At last, I've obtained all the Titan-class Transformer figures.
What about HasLab Unicron?
Shut up. And you know what? These things are genuinely really incredible. Just giant feats of toy design. But they sure do take up a lot of shelf space. But hey, at least there are no more Oh, no, not another! I got no more room on the shelves. It won't fit, Daddy. How am I supposed to? Oh. Actually, this works just fine. Right, so Age of the Primes has been good to us, hasn't it? With all the Prime figures being some real gems, and we got a Superion that can actually pose. So let's talk about the big ticket item with Star Convoy at last.
Isn't it Star Prime according to the box?
Shut the hell up, or am I going to have to give you the uncle finger? It is, but this character was a Japanese exclusive for decades, and calling him Star Prime just feels really wrong. So sorry if I get a little weebish in here. Anyhow, Star Convoy is an upgraded form of Optimus Prime from the fusion of Optimus and Vector Sigma, who is resurrected just in time because Megatron has been reborn from being in prison and ice as Super Megatron. Also, apparently Hot Rod is now kind of a co-pilot for Optimus as well. And oh, by the way, these two-page spreads are the only appearance of Star Convoy in media. It was 1991. Transformers G1 was in its final year in both Japan and America. Most of the lines were Micromasters at this point. Japan had it a bit better than America. I mean, they had some big toys like Star Convoy and Sky Gary, who was great because his name is Gary. But when your brand is losing ground to other mecha anime coming out, including ones by Takara themselves, and they can't even get a proper manga at this point, yeah, maybe the franchise needed a break. But Star Convoy does have a bit of a following, his original toy being a surprising fan favorite, getting the third-party treatment with not the best results. And even Optimus's Power of the Primes figure got reworked to Star Prime, which kind of puts the original one to shame. Meh, I still love him. So Star Convoy is... Hey, wait a minute. This isn't Star Convoy. This isn't a Titan figure. And this isn't my usual set. And this isn't my beautiful wife. Okay, so Star Prime is actually a two-figure set, given it comes with this little Hot Rod, about the size of a core class. I actually do have a core class of Hot Rod for comparison, and it's definitely a lot more compromised. Though I will say, the transformation for Titan Hot Rod is a lot more fun to do than the core class one, which is a little fiddly. Though, given the simplicity of the transformation, it kind of reminds me of those Cyberworld figures that are coming soon. Torn on whether or not I should review those. Anyhow, let's bring the big lad on screen and attach his goodies. I already got his Wi-Fi antenna on, and they already have good signal. But we also got Vector Sigma, some shoulder cannons, some pads on the back of his legs, and let's just get the rest of his accessories out of the way. Blast effects.
My favorite.
Smaller, better blast effects. A big blast effect which doubles as his sword, which, yeah, but you got this long one that looks like it should be used for something else. Oh, you know exactly what I mean. It can also be used as a sword. This turret that can be used later, and this bullet. Lipstick? Medication? Not sure how you're supposed to take these. Unless... And the mother of all pulse rifles. Probably the biggest I've ever seen. But the question is, can he hold it? Yes! I never thought that Optimus Prime having a weak grip would be a recurring issue, but trust me, it is. And after all that setup, God, this figure looks amazing. Having an Optimus Prime this size already is pretty hilarious. Like SS86 Optimus, the last retail high-ticket Prime, doesn't even come close in height. And I'm a sucker for a Prime with a lot more yellow on him like his Classics figure. It's still G1 squares, but now has a much more angular look that honestly feels like something out of Animated. Probably because the animated Optimus Prime was inspired by this design partially. And before you ask, yes, I did have it in the wrong position slightly. Thankfully, it's an easy enough fix, just unscrew some screws and readjust them. Not nearly as rough as HasLab Prime's abs breaking, but it did suck that I had to give Optimus's breasts a lift. He's got some serious stompers too, with lots of truck bits hanging off and some serious mother-bearing hips. He also has a tail with a plug on it, so you could have someone gunning at the back. There's also a 5mm plug, which, you know, I could get actually inventive and use this for cool weaponry, but y'all know. Something I should note is the size and feel of this figure, because while he is a big, beefy boy, this is Combiner Wars Devastator, who is roughly 18 inches or 46 Chinese numbers. And meanwhile, Star Prime comes in at 15 burger numbers or 38 centimeters. Not a crazy decrease, but a noticeable one. And that ties into a big change with the Titan class, where they're now going to be around $150 and more around this size, which fans have dubbed Commander Plus. Personally, I think was inevitable. There are only so many characters that you could turn into this giant size in Transformers, and it got pretty unwieldy after a while, and dare I say, some characters are even a bit oversized. Like at this point, the only other characters they could do is Terratronus or Primus. The former is from the crap seasons of Earthspark, so that's probably not happening, even though it totally should. And the latter would probably be HasLab, which we'll get to that later. When I live stream the opening of this guy, get subbed, I live stream unboxings for big figures like this. Someone commented that he kind of has a kid's toy look to him, and I could kind of see that in a way. Something about the much brighter, shinier plastic, as well as the detailing not being as prominent, does kind of give him that vibe. Like, put him up against last year's Titan Tidal Wave, and it's a completely different look. It doesn't look far off from some of those giant robot toys you sometimes see in Target or Sam's Club. However, I'm gonna say something that I know will be a bit controversial, but I think we should Newport. I'm kind of glad he has this big, goofy kid's toy feel. Like, I want to mess with other Titan figures more and more, but I feel like I can't due to their size and weight. This guy feels a lot more play-friendly. I could pick him up and zip zoom across the room, bashing into everything. Tell you what else helps with that. These ratchet joints. Which I know ratchet joints are to be expected in big figures like these, but these ones are... Holy shit, I'm gonna... These are some of the best sounding and feeling ratchet joints I've experienced in a long time. They just feel so damn good. And they knew these things were good because you can actually see them inside. And normally I do the articulation on mute, but no, you need to hear these. Optimus's antenna can be moved around on a hinge for better signal, and his head can rotate fully 360. Neck can't look up at all, sadly, but he can motorboat himself at least. Boobies. Also, hello, light piping. Good to see you again. 360 at the arms. Not quite all the way T-pose, but still totally fine. Arms can detach for further movement. Rotation at the upper shoulder. 90-degree elbow forwards and back. Wrist rotates and can open up. Would have been nice to have a separate index finger, but you can still have a bit of fun. Ratcheted waist rotation. Skirt flaps can be adjusted. Hip joints allow for great movement at the front, back, and of course, to the sides. Rotation at the upper legs. Knees have some solid movement. Toe pivots, and some really good ankle pivots. Plausibility is top notch, and thanks to not being oversized and overweight, like me, he actually feels inviting to mess with and play with, unlike a lot of Titan figures. Also, I love that the chest window can act as both a cockpit for Hot Rod or any other Transformers that fit. His chest can also act as a stand for any smartphone. Transformation is really simple, like you barely have to tweak the legs. It's alright, nothing fancy, but the truck mode is proper goofy big kid's toy. Pretty obviously a tummy time transformer. There is something to the truck that's still good fun. It rolls alright and does feel nice and substantial. And it's not the only mode we got. Time for the base mode. The base mode is certainly a base mode. In a weird way, I kind of love the fact that it's not even trying to hide that it's Optimus Prime with a broken spine. But I do kind of love the fact that it has hollow shins that soar so much, including another truck, though maybe this is a roller. There is something so goofy about it that it kind of works. But the big thing for me is this little wheel on what were his feet. Actual play features on a Titan figure. Outside of combiners and transformers with another figure built in, most play features on Titan figures were more so secret compartments. This feels like a goofy kid's toy feature. I like this. Go Hot Rod, go! So that is Star Optimus Prime. Overall, a pretty solid start to this new price point. While not the biggest game changer, it does everything it sets out to well in terms of look and most importantly, feel. I can't get over how damn good this feels to transform and mess with. Whether or not this is how all Titans are going to be from here on out, I think if they're able to follow in this figure's feel, I think it's a good direction. Alright, I think we're all good here. Nothing much more to say. I'm happy, you're happy, all is well. Alright, fine! Since this figure's announcement, there's been a fair bit of discourse about whether or not we need HasLab because Big Japan only character figure released for similar price that HasLab usually goes for. Not helping is this guy was shown off around the time of Leo Kaiser, which became a massive source of discourse, so of course, and in case you can't tell by the tone, Jushu Janan Gawa. Putting him up with all the others, all in a line, and honestly, I think the HasLab comparisons start to falter a bit. Yes, he's big. Yes, he's Japanese, but he's also a much more digestible version of Optimus for mainstream retail. Not in that sense. Needs more sauce! With less detail, a much more simplified transformation, he doesn't have that big collector's punch the other HasLab figures have. Especially Omega Prime, who basically is two modern-day Commander-class figures and a deluxe figure rolled into one gorgeous, buff fragile package. And even if you want to scale it back a bit, compared to Deathsaurus, who comes with a ton more accessories, way more detail, and much more involved transformation, probably wouldn't be in the same $150 ballpark. And if you're trying to say the accessory value is made up for with all those blast effects, please kindly f*** off. With that being said, however, I wouldn't mind if this range was kind of a flexible range. Like the figure cost varies between $150 to $200. Something like big old Primus might be a bit much, but Overlord or Jinrai could probably work well with this format. Maybe also a Mega Supreme to scale with the new Devastator. By the way, why did all the other classes still have the same prices, but leaders went up by $5? I wouldn't be that angry, except some of these figures were $50 when they first came out. I need those $5. I need lunch later. I blame Andrew Dobson. Pricing debates and economics of plastic toys aimed at grown men children aside, I think this figure is still really good. It's very posable and all feels so good to mess with. Definitely get it. Put Klarna to good use before they go bust. What about you? How do you feel about Star Prime and the new Titan class pricing stuff? Let me know in the comments and please subscribe. Oh, that's just great.